I fancy going out on a bit of a forage, see flowers, nuts, berries, leaves, I don't know, things I can find to use. Got a litter picker, a saw, some water, and then I've also got, oh, hold on, some wet wipes, some secateurs, is that what they're called? And other little thing that I've taken, a little knife for chopping. So let's see what I can find. So we live on a bee farm, so our house is in there, and out the back we have an array of paddocks, mountains, forests. So I'm off just to see what I can find. Just outside the door, the paddock closest to our house, dandelions, and I've been wanting to make either a balm or dry them for tea for ages now. So that's the first thing that I'm going to collect, and I've taken a little mayonnaise pot with me. So I'm going to fill that up with dandelions. So it's going well so far with my dandelion collection. Something we do have to be aware of when we're foraging, plants can look very similar to each other, and the leaves give it away, but like on first appearance these two look quite the same, but they're not. So when you go to the bottom of this plant, where are we? Here. There's no big leaves, which you do get with dandelions. So I'll show you a dandelion. So that is not a dandelion. If we go over to a dandelion plant, this is a dandelion. We've got these leaves at the bottom. So the leaves, the stems and the roots can also be used for making things. The only one I want to make right now is just to dry the flower heads for tea. So I will leave the rest of the plant because the bugs like the plants. But yeah, these leaves show you that it's a dandelion. So those thinner, stalkier ones are not dandelions because they don't have the leaves. But yeah, you do have to be very careful when you're foraging. So another one that's around maybe slightly late in the year. There's definitely less of it now. But this one, red clover, is quite kind of like a dark pink colour. That can also be dried and used for teas. So I'll pick some red clover as well while I'm here. Come over the hill and there are loads of dandelions, so I will be away with my picking. So another one that I've just researched, because I see this everywhere, and I have lots of foraging books and I'm pretty sure that I've seen this can be used. So I've looked it up on Google Lens. It's called ribwort. It does have a fancy Latin name, but ribwort. And this can be used in the kitchen. Really good to put on cuts, grazes, insect bites for itching. But can also be dried and used in soups and teas, and is really packed full of vitamins and can be used for anything chesty related. So if you've got a cough or cold, and also digestive health. So I'm going to harvest some of these leaves as well. I found a whole heap of red clover, which is great. I've topped my pot up with red clover. But something that I've learned from my books is to look at the age of the plant that you're harvesting. Or does it look young and fresh? Because the younger ones often carry more nutrients and the medicinal properties that they carry. So this one I probably wouldn't harvest because I think this plant is a little bit older. So I'll leave that there for the bees. And I would probably harvest these kind of ones. A little bit younger and they haven't got any leaves dying off yet. Something else I look at when I'm harvesting leaves, I don't know what this is specifically to this plant because today's the first day I've researched if I could use this or not. But when plants have little dots or discoloration on them, that could just be an insect has been along and eaten chunks of it, or it could sometimes with plants, insects can lay eggs in leaves and part of the plant. So I wouldn't really want to have that in my tea if it's full of eggs. So unfortunately I have just picked that and then realised, so I will leave that there. That will hopefully just break down in nature. But we've got some, well, maybe not clean looking leaves actually. So I'll probably pick a different bunch. So maybe not from here. So as a bit of a waffle while I walk, my next thing I'm looking for, now I found my flowers that I wanted to come and pick. I want to try and find some old wood, essentially. So I'm going to head into the forest just behind me, but I do have to walk all the way around because we do live on a bee farm and I don't want to walk through the paddock with them because they are quite large and will run you down. So when certain types of weeds, they'll grow their own vines and they grow up other plants so that they can reach sunlight above the tree canopy, I'm guessing. So I'd really like to find some some older vines that have wrapped around stuff and take those, because I'd like to make a flower wreath out of old bits of wood, but I just need wood that's a bit more bendy and I can bend into a circle and then weave flowers around. I have been drying flowers at home for a long time now, so I've got enough hopefully to make up a flower wreath. So once a week I was going out and picking a bunch of flowers, and you tie them together and you hang them upside down for, just depends on the plant really, but you know, because they go dry and crispy. So I've dried a bunch of flowers, hydrangeas and all different things from the garden. So yeah, now I want to make a flower wreath, so that's my next project, and I guess pick up anything else along the way that I find. Something I've learnt, so we've got a little secondhand bookshop in town run by a little old lady, and it's just the cutest shop. I love going in there, and I've managed to pick up loads of like foraging and outdoorsy kind of books. And something I've learnt is anything you're told is a weed and we should get rid of that. You can probably eat it and might have lots of medicinal benefits for you. So I've been trying to educate myself on what I can find outside the house, just to have some natural alternatives for when I have a headache rather than taking Panadol. For example, now I put lavender oil on my temples and that usually gets rid of it. And with a bit of Tai Chi massage that Alfie's learnt on your hands, bits and pieces. So yeah, just trying to learn natural alternatives. So I thought I would start making some videos to just, I don't know, put it out there, and other people might be able to make use of the bits and pieces that I've learnt. So something I've learnt, and this probably applies to any country with land and farmed animals. There was a cute little path up here, and I thought, oh, that would take me down into this bit of bush here. But I thought, there's a hill there that I can't see the other side of, so let's just quickly go and check what's the other side before I go into the paddock, because cows are very curious and they will sneak up on you. Even though they're big, you'd be surprised how quiet they can be when they're intrigued of something. Come the other side of the hill, paddock full of cows. And these are quite young cows and they're still pretty big. So always check your paddocks before you go traipsing through them. So this one is yarrow. I'm not going to harvest it today because the leaves that I've just harvested do a similar thing. Good for digestion and cuts and bruises. But it's a handy one to know. If you were to cut yourself quite badly while you're out, you can put it in a cut and it will help stem the bleeding. Yarrow has these feathery looking leaves, and that's how you know it's yarrow. There is a very, very similar looking plant without those leaves, which is highly toxic to all animals and people. So it's really important you make sure you know which one it is you're picking, as with anything in nature. But yarrow does have medicinal benefits. It can be itchy though to touch, is the only thing to bear in mind if you were going to pick it. Right, I'm going to trust my gut on this one, even though I can't see to the back of the paddock. If you look at what's growing in each paddock, the one on the right, in theory, should be a crop, so there shouldn't be any livestock. And on the left is just normal grass, which livestock would probably be on. Farmers will grow crops in field and then maybe winter their stock on that crop, but this looks like quite a young crop, so I wouldn't imagine there would be any cattle in there at this time. So I'm going to go for it, and I'll send an update if I get chased out the field. The thing to be mindful of is if you are walking through a paddock that has a crop growing, you don't really want to traipse through the middle because you will kill crop that somebody has planted and paid money for. So I will stick to this edge over here, so I'm not walking all over the crops. Doesn't matter in New Zealand because we have nothing dangerous that can come and get me, but obviously if you're in a country that does have dangerous things or snakes and that kind of thing, bear in mind what's on your feet. I have done it anyway, but keeping your trousers tucked in, because as far as I'm aware, ticks are everywhere, so they are, and they carry Lyme's disease. But yeah, just bearing in mind your feet and what you might come in contact with that you don't know is there. Oh, little dude, oh, you can't see him. Little spider. This I will pick up. Really, really good as a fire starter. We've got some plantage growing through it, but yeah, really good for a fire starter, so I will take that little pine cone. Picked up enough pine cones just for a fire this evening if we have a fire. This stuff Spreads really easy once it gets its flowers, and it's part of the nightshade family, and it is a very invasive weed. If you get it in your garden, it will go everywhere. So always try and get rid of those before they get that big, if you get them in your garden. Another thing to bear in mind when you're walking across somebody's land, most land is owned by somebody. You know, in some places you've got signposted footpaths and that's all good, but if you are, like I am, walking across somebody's land, you should really check with the landowner that it's okay for you to do so. I do live on this farm, so that's all good, I hope so. But yeah, just checking with your landowner that it's all okay, because farmers might not appreciate you traipsing all across their paddocks. And I have now, this is uncharted territory, but I have entered a little wooded area, so I might be able to find my wood here. So yeah, I'm going to go into the woods. I'm sure most people know, but when you're entering areas and there's wires or fences across, especially on any kind of land with farm animal, it's probably electrified. And I did try the fences out the other week. I wonder how strong they are. Quite strong. So yeah, bear that in mind. Just don't go and touch it. Or, you know, if you're going to climb over the fence, make sure it's not going to touch them between your legs, because it's a bit sore. I've found the wood that I'm looking for, just sitting here under the fence. And you know that it's the type of vine that climbs up, because one, if you follow it, you can see it's wrapped all around the bush above. This whole tree is covered in it. It's okay, I feel, morally, to chop it down, because it is killing off this lovely tree. And it's really, really good bendy wood. Perfect for a flower wreath, I think. So I'm going to chop out some long chunks of that and hopefully make a flower wreath. Yeah. So I have managed to forage my sticks for my flower wreath that I wanted, and there's this cool little green viney thing attached. So I'm going to keep him because I feel that might be useful to tie the wood together. Next to me, I've got some little mushies. So I thought I'd sit and make a video. I thought I'd introduce myself. So I'm not just this random person making foraging videos. I'm Gemma. I live over in New Zealand with my husband. We've been here, we're in our second year on our working holiday visa, and we're currently in the Hawke's Bay region. Really nice. It's just a stunning place to live. We're from the UK. All of our whānau, so our family, are over there. So yeah, we haven't seen anybody that we love from home in a little while now, but we really, really love it here. It's just stunning, so peaceful. I feel so connected to nature and everything around me. It's just beautiful. I'm a veterinary nurse, and I'm currently teaching veterinary nursing, and my husband is currently in hospitality work, but he has also done dairy farming, so he kind of goes between the two. Yeah, we don't really know what our plan is past New Zealand. We still want to travel and see the world. When we left home, we said we would leave home for 2 years. We are past that point now. Yep, so we're just vibing with life and just seeing where it takes us, really. Yeah, that's us. So I have got everything that I wanted to forage for on this walk. I really just wanted to get some dandelions and some wood, which I've done. So I'm going to take a slow stroll back. I imagine when I put this video together, the editing quality will not be great, but I'm not a video editor, and I'm not making the video for editing quality. I'm making it for educational purposes. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm sure I will make another video again soon. To include this little guy flapping around there. This bird is called a fantail. They're super social, and they will come right up to you if they can. They sound so pretty. And there's lots of different spiritual beliefs behind them. So ancestors coming to say hi. Where's he gone? Oh, there he is. Yeah, really curious, friendly little birds, and they're one of my favourite. I got a little tattoo of a little fantail on my leg. Yeah, when we moved into our house, in the bushes, we had a blue hydrangea bush. And growing up, my granddad always grew hydrangeas. My granddad isn't with us any longer, but he always grew hydrangeas, and when we moved in and the bush bloomed and I had lots of blue hydrangeas, they are some of the ones that I've dried. But at home we do have a little fantail that sits around the hydrangea bush, and like when I'm out in the garden and in the garage doing bits that my granddad probably would have done, yeah, the little fantail comes in and he sits in the garage with me. So I am a bit of a believer that they might be your ancestors coming to say hi. Yeah, the one at home we've got is just really special, but they're just lovely little creatures, really. Another thing, I know I did already sort of sign off on the video, but one other thing I just want to add in at the end. Hopefully I can inspire somebody to go out and do a similar thing. Like, I meet so many people that are just, I hate gardening, I don't like walking, blah, 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 all these things. Which does make me a little bit sad, because I just feel that maybe sometimes as a human race we're a little bit too disconnected from nature sometimes. Not everybody. But yeah, if I can inspire somebody to go out and walk and just be with nature, even if you're not foraging, then great. But also just, it's quite easy to, like right now, making a video, or you might be with someone so you're chatting, or have your phone with you and have music playing, which is all great. You're out in nature, that's the main thing. But just try, when you go for a walk, really good meditative activity. I know lots of people say they can't meditate. Meditating doesn't have to be sitting and breathing. It can just be being present where you are. So I'd say if you are going to go out and be in nature and walk, shut off all devices, sit for a while, and just listen to the nature that's around you. Birds are pretty beautiful things, sound really nice to listen to. And just be with the earth and, yeah, the nature that's around you, and just take it all in for a couple of minutes. Yeah, it can be quite a nice exercise to do when you're out and around. We all live busy lives and we all have lots going on, and there's lots of stresses in the world right now. Yeah, so those 2 minutes are just really nice.